Manisha, an assistant professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering in Akgec Engineering College, Ghaziabad. In today's session, we will learn about understanding of computer forensics. Just to understand computer forensics, we have to discuss several topics related to our main core topics, and these topics are: we have to understand about several forensics analysis pattern or methods. This is include introduction to digital forensics, why we use computer forensics, cyber forensics and digital evidences, and what is the procedure to collect this kind of evidences. Then after that, forensics analysis of email, digital forensics life cycle, chain of custody concept, and in the last we will discuss about network forensics. These will be the outline of our today chapter. So one by one we will discuss each of these. Let's start with the introduction to computer forensics. First of all, we will try to understand what is computer forensics and why we use it. Computer forensics is an approach or method to collect evidence to submit in a court of law if any kind of misbehavior or any unhappening approaches happen during the digital world. For example, if any person account is get hacked, or if he want to punish that particular hacker or person who try to steal their personal information, so how can they approach a particular court of law to provide them punishment? Just to use all this particular approach or method, we use the strategy of computer forensics. In computer forensics, what we do, we collect evidences related to digital world, filter it, analyze it, and submit in front of court to analyze and give the punishment related to particular crime. These are the basic definition of computer forensics. Then after that we will discuss why we need computer forensics and what is the agenda to use strategy of computer forensics. We need computer forensics if any kind of unnecessary particular pattern is happened during the digital world. To punish the hacker or that person, we need some evidences or some law. For that, what we do in our digital world, we collect that evidences and submit in front of the court just to punish that person, and just to comply all the particular approaches, we need computer forensics. So this is the first need of computer forensics. In a second approach, what will be our second goal? Just like if our system is get crashed or hard disk get crashed, so just to retain the data, we can use the concept of computer forensics. These will be the main two approaches related to the goal of computer forensics. Then after then we will discuss about type of computer forensics, or how many type of computer forensics existed to collect evidences. The first type is database forensics. In a database forensics, what we do in a database forensics, we collect information about the data and the metadata. The second one is email forensics. In email forensics, what we do, here we collect the information about the sender and the receiver. The third one is malware forensics. In a malware forensics, we collect information or pattern related to the any kind of suspicious activity, including Trojan horse activities, some spyware softwares, and another. The fourth one is memory forensics. In memory forensics, we will collect data related to the computer RAM and cache memory. In mobile forensics, what we do? In mobile forensics, we collect sender and receiver text messages, their mobile activity pattern, just to analyze forensics related data. And in the network forensics, what we collect? We collect data about the firewall or intrusion detection system, just to identify the whole architecture of the particular system. So these are the particular or main types of computer forensics, including system, network, web, data, proactive, email, enterprise, cyber, and digital forensics. After that, we will discuss the main kind of computer forensics, just to analyze the pattern of digital forensics. So first of all, we will discuss about how we can collect data or digital evidences in cyber forensics. For that, a particular pattern or approach is existing. Just to follow them one by one, we can collect our evidences. So this is a particular pattern that is exists to collect data in the world of digital forensics. First of all, we have to collect data. For collecting data, we can use several approaches. Like here we can use data forensics, email forensics, network forensics. After collecting data, we will move towards the examination process. Here we will analyze that data and find the useful data that is related to our main core topic. Our examination, after we will analyze that particular data, and in a final we will report that to the particular team who is responsible to collect the evidences. After reporting, here we collect evidences, and if we found any loophole here, so we can have an option to again roll back to the data collection process. So this is the main core fundamental approach of collecting evidences in digital forensics. After that, we will discuss that particular diagram in a detailed manner, how we can obtain a digital copy of the under inspection system. After that, we will authenticate that particular data, that it is related to subject or not, and then we will determine that copy data is forensically acceptable or not. After then, analysis process or examination process, we will examine that particular data, and here we can recover deleted file, finding the necessary data which is related to our subject or necessary to submit it in the court of law, and here we can establish a technical report. So this is the particular architecture or fundamental diagram of how we can collect the digital evidences. First of all, we will choose identification process. After that, we will move toward preservation of that evidences. Then we will analyze that evidences. After analysis, if it is forensically accepted, then we will prepare a document and present the document in front of court. Here in a particular slides, now we are going to discuss about forensics analysis of email. Before that, we have already discussed basic introduction and need of computer forensics or digital forensics. After that, we have discussed type of forensics, which is include data, malware, email, network, and after then, in the next slide, what we have discussed, we have already discussed what is the basic approach or fundamental pathway to collect computer forensics. Then here we will learn or try to know how we can apply that evidence strategy or particular diagram approach to collect data in different type of forensics approaches. So in a first parameter, what we will discuss, here we are going to discuss forensics analysis of email. What is email? Email is known as an electronic mail that is used to send message for official purpose. Here two parties are involved. One is sender and the another one is receiver. For forensics analysis of email and why we use that, for example, if any person receives some kind of suspicious email, and if they want to find out who has sent them that particular email and what kind of person is involved, regarding that particular pattern. So just to analyze that, they can use forensic analysis of email. In an email, we have used the same evidence collecting approach. First of all, identify the main criminal, then collect the evidences. Here after collecting the evidences, we will examine that, analyze that, and prepare a particular findings or document and to build the case. So it is the same approach which we have already discussed in how to collect the evidences in computer forensics. Then what kind of challenges is involved in email forensics? There are so many challenges involved in email forensics, but here are the few important challenges which we have to consider. First of all, fake email, spoofing, and anonymous emailing. In a fake email, it is difficult to identify the sender or the receiver. In a spoofing or anonymous re-emailing, it is difficult to identify the real or actual IP address of the sender or the receiver. So these particular pattern will be difficult to tackle to identify or collect evidences related to email forensics. Then after, we will discuss what kind of techniques is used in email forensics. So here are mainly 5 kind of techniques is involved to collect evidences in email forensics. First one is header analysis. After that, we will analyze server investigation. Then we will move towards the network device investigation. In a fourth one, sender mail fingerprint, and in the last one, software embedded identifiers. One by one, we will discuss each of these. So let's start with the header analysis. What is header analysis? Header is the approach to collect metadata about emails. For example, with the help of header analysis, we can identify the basic info about the sender, receiver, their content, and for what kind of purpose they have sent that email. Just to identify headers, here we can collect our metadata related to email messages, and it will be lead us towards to identify the actual sender or to receiver. After that, we will discuss about the server investigation. When we have already existing approach of header analysis, so here why we are using the server investigation in email forensic. Like I have already said, in header analysis, we will be able to only get the data of sender and the receiver metadata or their basic email addresses. But what kind of data they have shared there in their email, just to identify that, we have to use the approach of server investigation. In server investigation, how we can collect the data? For example, if any kind of suspicious email is exchanged between sender and the receiver, and after that, if they has already deleted that file from their mail address, so from the help of header analysis, it will be difficult to identify their purpose to send that email. So recover the actual data. What kind of approach we can use? Here we can use the approach of server investigation. Like, just whenever you use any kind of web services, that kind of web services is linked with the server, and for some kind of period, server maintain the copy of the actual information. So if we are not able to identify the actual data with the help of header, so here we can request to the server providing company to provide us the one copy of that particular information to analyze that evidences. So this is the main purpose of the server investigation. After that server investigation, we will lead towards the network devices investigation. What we will do in network device investigation? In network device investigation, we have analyzed the whole architecture related to the email forensic. For example, whenever we try to send any kind of information over the internet, so we need a particular network. So in the network analysis, we have learned about the header, we learn about the server, we learn about the log patterns of the server and the receiver, and we also learn about the or analyze about the firewalls and the other determining factor which is involved in our email forensics. Also, with the help of network forensics, we can analyze about the prior proxy or the real ISP address of the sender or the receiver. After the network forensics, what we use? Software embedded identifier. With the help of that, we can identify the MIME content, or here we can identify the actual sender or the receiver who are involved in the computer forensics approach. In the last one, we can use the strategy of the sender mailer fingerprint. In the sender mailer fingerprints, we can analyze about the version, the software, the computer MAC address, their IP address, and another kind of additional information with the help of the sender mailer fingerprint whenever we try to collect the evidence with the help of email forensics. So these are the particular main 5 criteria which is used in email forensics to collect data or to analyze the data, which will be helpful to capture or gather the information related to the real culprit. After that, here we will discuss some automatic tools which is used in email forensics to collect data. The first one and the popular tool is Akgec Mail Viewer. After then, we have an option to use OST or PST Viewer option, and the third one, we can also use Email Checker Pro to collect data related to email forensics. After email forensics, our next topic is how we can collect data, or what is the exact life cycle of digital forensics. Like before that, we have already discussed what is a particular way or approach to collect evidences in forensics. But here we will discuss what is the life cycle of computer forensics. So in a life cycle of computer forensics, mainly 7 approaches are involved. The first one approach is preparation and identification of the real or actual asset, which will be helpful to collect data related to our forensic science. After then, collecting and recording of that data. The third one is storing and transporting. The fourth one is examination or investigation of the data. In the fifth one, we'll use analysis. In the sixth one, reporting, and the seventh one is testifying. So one by one, we will discuss all of this. In the first one, what is the topic? Preparing for the evidence of identifying the evidence. What is the use of that particular point in the digital forensics life cycle? Like, if we want to collect data related to digital crime, so first of all, we have to identify our assets, or we need to identify what kind of data will be helpful to examine or will be helpful to provide the actual result related to forensics. So here we can use some approaches like processing files, log files to collect actual data, or just to collect actual sources which will be leads towards to collect our evidences. In a second approach, we will collect and recording digital evidences. For to collect and recording digital evidences, so many sources are available. For that, here we can use mobile phone, laptop, PC, camera, microphone. All these can be our assets to collect evidences. In a third one point, we have to store and examine that evidences. For their storage, we can use toolkit. After then, we can auto spy, scalpel, ENCase. These are some automatic tools which is easily available in a form of software to examine and prepare a report related to our data, which we have already collected from our different sources. In a fourth approach, we have to prepare a particular report. Just to prepare a particular report, some pattern is available. Just to use that particular pattern, we can create a report which we have to submit in front of court of law. After creating our report, the last approach is testifying. Here we have published one test result related to our sources, related to our tools, subjects, why we have collected our computer forensics data, and after we have concluded all this particular process into our testifying result, which will be helpful for another person to analyze the complete process. So these are the basic life cycle model related to computer forensics. Here we can understand that with the help of a diagram. The first approach, as I have already discussed, is related to identification. The second one is search. Third one is preservation. Fourth one is examination. Fifth one is analysis, and sixth one is reporting. And after completing all that particular process, here we can use testifying approach to publish a result related to our particular forensics method. Then after that, we will discuss about the chain of custody concept. What is chain of custody concept? In a chain of custody concept, what we do, like we have already discussed, how we can collect the data, what is the basic life cycle model of computer forensics, and what is the type of computer forensics. After finalize all these approaches, here we can use chain of custody concept to deliver that particular evidences to the actual or genuine person who will present that evidences in the front of court. So for that, we can use the approach of chain of custody. In chain of custody concept, first of all, in the start procedure, what we do, we will identify our subject, we will identify our logs files, and then we will start collecting data related to the different sources. Here we will collect data. After that, we will extract information which will be useful to proceed for the next purpose, and then create a new chain of custody concept. Here what we do, here we will transfer or hand over that evidences to the genuine person for further analysis. Then showcase the chain of custody concept to that particular person, entry chain of custody information, and in the last approach, we can save the chain of custody file in the testimonial approach. And then here our chain of custody concept is finished. So this is the basic architectural diagram of chain of custody concept related to computer forensics. Our last topic related to computer forensics is analysis of network forensics. Like I have earlier discussed about the email forensics. Email forensics include 5 parameters: header, server investigation, network forensics, after then software embedded forensics, and software fingerprint forensics. Like the third parameter related to the email forensics is network forensics. That particular parameters is further explored in a deeper way to analyze the whole concept or architecture of related to network, just for the collecting evidences related to any kind of digital crime. So just to analyze network forensics, this is the basic example or basic definition of the network forensics. Why we use that? We use network forensics to collect evidence related to any kind of crime which is happened online, because in a network forensics we will read or understand complete architecture related to sender, receiver, their firewall, their message sending approaches, and all these things is included in network forensics. In a network forensics, we also follow the same approach which is related to the computer forensics evidence collecting or life cycle, like identification of our subject or sources, then safeguarding of that sources for further analysis, then accumulation of that sources or remove unnecessary information from that, then observation, or here we can say that we will examine or try to analyze that particular network forensics approach. After that, investigation, we have prepared a one particular document, or we will try to collect all that evidences. And in the last one approach, what we do, in the last approach, we prepare a document with the test result. So this is the basic life cycle or basic approach related to the network forensics. These are some tools or automatic tools which is used in network forensics. The first one is protocol analyzer and the packet. Thanks to everyone for watching my video. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time.